Hey, what is up, guys? This is Brett here from brettdev.com, and today I want to answer a question that I've been getting an awful lot recently, and that is, how much money do I have to have saved up before I move to Thailand? How do I know that I'm ready? How do I know that I'm ready to, leave my life in the West behind and start perhaps working remotely over there? So recently I was on a call with somebody and they were asking me this. This individual is in the process of learning to become like a web designer, and the reason they're doing it is because obviously they want to move over here, they want a life where they're traveling around, and perhaps they want to stay in Thailand, go to other countries, etc. And the guy, he asked me on the phone, he said, I'm trying to do this thing, I'm trying to build up this web design business. What advice would you give me in terms of how do I know when I'm ready? So like, in his case, he's trying to get clients and all that, and he's saying like, how many clients do I need? How much money do I need to be making in order to, sustain a lifestyle abroad? And I gave him like a few bits of advice. So what I want to do is I'm going to go through them one by one, and I'm going to kind of break it down and give you my opinion on what I would do if I was in that same similar situation. If I was, a lot of people right now, they're in that position. There's this whole thing going around the world. They're thinking, you know what, like a lot of people are trapped at home. They're thinking, fuck this. I'm just going to study something. I'm going to learn to work online, and then I'm out. Yeah. A lot of people want an out. A lot of people are building up their skill set so they can work online and so they can escape this madness that's going on in Western countries. So when is the right time to do that? How do you know when you're ready? I'm going to go through that and I'm going to break it down. Now, I get that this advice is not really going to apply to people who are perhaps planning on retiring. You've already got your money saved up and you already have a retirement plan. This video is really more for, people that are under 50 that can't move to Thailand unless they are making a living online. This is going to help you guys the most. So this particular individual, like I said, he was studying web design. Well, he is studying web design. And the first thing that I said to him, I said, if you're going to be coming over to Thailand, if you're going to be wanting to work online and you're going to want to run like a freelancing business like he wants to do, is make sure that your freelancing business actually works. Okay, so a lot of people will come out to Thailand, or they used to come out to Thailand, the digital nomads, just as I've said before, just not having any idea what they're doing. Okay, you don't need to build up a gigantic business in your home country before you move, but you do need to have kind of a proof of concept. Okay, so if you want to live out in Thailand and you want to work remotely as a freelancer, you want clients to hire you and things like that, number one, you need to know that clients will actually hire you. Okay, you don't need, like I say, an army of customers and have to have this big business. But first thing is to just make sure that what you want to do when you get here actually works. So, I mean, that's the first step. And that's once you have that, if you know it works, then you're on pretty good grounds to kind of go forward, if that makes sense. The second thing I would suggest in terms of money and savings, you do need a pot of savings that you can use to live off of whilst you're trying to kind of, establish yourself online and, build things up. So provided you have, like I said, a proof of concept, that what you're doing is works, that people are willing to hire you online, that you can get paid for what it is you're offering. Provided you have that, once you get to Thailand, you're going to need at least, I would say, $1,000 a month for 6 to 12 months. I mean, depending on your lifestyle, lots of people live different lifestyles. You should really, especially, and if you're staying somewhere like Chiang Mai, even Bangkok, you really should easily be able to survive in Thailand on $1,000 a month, especially as like a solo dude or solo gal. Thailand isn't that expensive. It can definitely be done on $1,000 a month. And, if you're like this guy who I was speaking to on the phone, who's coming here because he wants to just, get his freelancing business off the ground, then, you're not going to be out, going crazy and getting drunk every day of the week. If you are, you're going to kind of fuck the whole thing up anyway. So $1,000 a month, 6 to 12 months. Like I say, if you have a proof of concept, if you know that what you're doing works, people are willing to pay you money for it. That's all you should need, really. Last thing is, once you get to Thailand, like I say, just double down on what you're doing. All right. So, you know, especially if you're coming out of like a regular job and you're trying to make a transition and you're saying like, you know, I want to quit my job because I want to go and live abroad. You got to remember, you're going to have all that free time. So if you've got a proof of concept, something works. If you've got 6 months to live off, 6 to 12 months to live, you've got a year. All you need to do is double down in that 6 to 12 months, and all you need to make is make $1,000 at the end of that 6 to 12 months, and then from there it's only up. All right, so it's not that difficult. It's not that hard. You don't need a lot of money. So many people ask me the same question. That's why I thought I'd make a video about it, because they're just, you know, especially when you're coming from Western countries where everything is so expensive. That's one of the whole perks. That's one of the greatest things about living out here in Thailand. The cost of living so low. It just allows you more freedom, and it makes life actually easier. Okay, so it's not as big of a challenge as you think. I always say to people, you know, if you're worried about coming to Thailand because you think you're not going to be able to earn enough money to survive or enough money to live and things like that, it's madness that you would say that living in an even more expensive country. You know, so Thailand's super cheap. You could live on even less than $1,000 a month. You could live on $600 a month if you were really like tight and you didn't really care about where you lived and stuff. But yeah, so that's it, guys. Get a solid. Make sure that you know what you're planning on doing actually works. Save up 6 to 12 grand. You know, and then when you get here, just double down, and within 6 months you're going to be absolutely fine. And from there, it's just onwards and upwards. What I broke down in this video also doesn't cover, you know, you're going to need to pay for your visa and stuff before you come to Thailand. And good news is, I just saw a video yesterday from a channel called Keyframe 5, which shout out to him. I'm going to put a link up. Thailand are now opening their borders. All right. So you can now apply to come to Thailand on a tourist visa, which is just amazing news. It's for 60 to 90 days. And I'm sure that those of you who do want to stay here long term, if you get that tourist visa, if you do the quarantine and stuff, you come into the country, you're probably going to be able to switch that tourist visa to a more longer term visa. Now, I don't know this. This is what I'm guessing you might be able to do. Switch it to a longer term visa from within the country. Now, like I say, I'm not promising that, but that's how it's been working at the moment. People that were trapped here have been able to switch over to longer term visas without leaving the country, without crossing borders. So that's really, really, really good news. Yeah, I hope that video helps. I hope that answers the question on kind of like how much you need if you come to Thailand. Like I said, I know it doesn't apply to everybody's situation, but there are, believe me, a ton. The majority of people that send me emails are under 50. They are trying to do this. They're trying to like quit their jobs and start working online. So hopefully for those of you who are in that position, it will help. And until next time, guys, this is Brett, brettdev.com, and we're out. Peace.